Hi, my name is Alexis and I'm going to tell you about the time Macklemore came to visit me. I've been meaning to make this video for a very long time, but I've just been kind of nervous and procrastinating. So I promised myself that I would make this video before I go off to college, which happens to be the University of Washington, which happens to be in his beautiful city. So his city will soon first off, let me tell you the circumstances of everything. It was 3 years ago, and I was in the hospital. I was in Children's Hospital, fighting a disease. If you guys know what it is, it's called MS. It kind of messes with everything, messes with your brain, messes with your walking and stuff. And okay, so you guys know my speech therapist, she gives me an assignment. She tells me to tell her about 3 artists that I really like. So the next day I tell her about the Kings of Leon, the Killers, and I told her there's this underground hip hop artist. He is so good. He is really good. You should listen to some of his stuff. His name is Macklemore. You may not know him though, but he is really good. You should listen to him. Then she listens to his stuff and she goes, artist came and he performed and he was really good, and could it be him? And I was like, and then she goes, okay, cool, well, I'll definitely look into that, yeah. And I was like, so a couple days after that, we have this huge meeting with all my doctors and therapists, and she stops me before I get wheelchaired in, and she goes, so I talked to the coordinator who coordinates the events that happen at Children's, and it turns out that it is Macklemore, and he's actually gonna come visit you. And I just, oh my gosh, I went crazy. Oh my gosh, I went crazy. Like, ask any of the people in the meeting. Oh my gosh, it was mind blowing. So the day came, and I was going to speech therapy, and it was time to go meet Macklemore. So before they wheelchair me in, I go, stop. I am not going to meet Macklemore in a wheelchair. So I try and get up, and I'm a little wobbly, so everyone's like, they're on their guard. And I walk in and I see my mom, I see a photographer, and I see Macklemore. And my mom told me this after she met Macklemore first, and he introduces himself as Ben Haggerty. So he goes, hi, I'm Ben Haggerty, and I see him sitting there. He stood up and he was like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. I wasn't acting like this, but I was totally in shock. So we sit down, and I'm really scared to say something like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna say to him? And then he goes, hi, and I'm like, hey. He goes, how are you? And then I was like, I'm good. I mean, you're here. And he goes, yes, and I am here. And then he tells me something that really stuck with me. He said, and he looks me straight in the eye, and he tells me, I can't even imagine what you're going through. It must be so hard. But, you just gotta keep your head up, and you gotta keep going, and you gotta keep fighting. Because you're strong, and I know you can make it. I know you can do it. I kind of pondered for a moment, and my speech therapist and we came up with questions to ask. And so our questions were, what type of brands do you like? And he goes, really, I don't really have a brand. I really like vintage clothing. Yeah. And then I ask him, well, what type of artists do you listen to? Like, who do you listen to? And he goes, I like Kanye West and Lil Wayne. They're pretty cool. I like them. I asked him, what sports did you play in high school? And he goes, I played soccer. And I was like, huh. It was kind of awkward because I asked him if he was married. I shouldn't have done that. And then he laughs, he chuckles, and he goes, well, I've been on and off with a girl for 4 years now, but Yeah. Which is now his fiance. Then he comments on my shoes and my Can Play shirt, and I was like, yeah, picked the right stuff. So it was really cool. And he asked me if I want to go to his concert in a couple weeks. And then I was really scared because I didn't know if I could make it, if I could walk into the Paramount. So I say, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll see. I'll definitely after. We get up and he gives me a hug. So we take pictures and he gives me a CD. He signs a CD for me and he gives me this t-shirt. Oh, here's a CD. See? Can you see it? It was so great to meet you today. ... I'm so sorry to hear about all you're struggling with. Anything that you need, let me know. So
I gotcha.
I email him saying that I want to go to the concert and that he spelled my name wrong and that it's actually with 2 L's. And he says, oh yeah, definitely. So sorry about that. I wait in line and I come up to him with a t-shirt I bought and say to Alexis and then he looks up at me and he goes with 2 L's. And then he just gives me the hugest hug and he says, it is so good to see you. It is so good to see you. And I was like, yay. So I'm about to leave and I try and say bye to him, but he can't hear me because so many people are around him. And I wave and I'm like, bye. And then this guy says, hey Ben, hey. And then he points at me and he stops the entire line. And he goes up to me and gives me this huge hug. And he says, I am so glad you're here. You are an inspiration. So I am going to his concert on the 12th of December. And I will be there, Macklemore. So keep your eye out.
Too cool to be a fan, damn, hating at the concert. You don't remember Rock Kenny watching Hyro, her wilding out to alcoholics. I know it's not the same, it never will be, but my city's filthy. And we've been truly dope since Supreme was up on Broadway in the Dookie rope. Me mugging this a Mix-a-Lot video. Back when Scene was rocking house parties on the floor. JMG sitting spinning the paradox. Back when Mark introduced Gio to Sobs. So much has changed here, so much is not. I was just a kid.